Welcome to another episode at Pleasurelit with Patricia. This is going to be a solo episode, and before I'm gonna get deeply into this episode, let's take a few deep breaths together to arrive. We're gonna take deep breath in through our nose, deep into our belly and chest, really expanding, widening it. And then we're gonna exhale, slowly release through a thigh out of our mouth. So let's take a deep breath in and release. You can place a hand on your heart or anywhere else on your body to feel yourself as well. Take another deep breath in through the nose. And sigh it out. We're going to do one more, giving ourselves full permission to really release on the exhale, softening our shoulders, softening our jaw, using our voice, the vibrations all activating. Deep breath in through our nose and release. All the tingles and the goosebumps on that third one is giving full permission. It's just delicious. Such a portal to pleasure. I'm like in my pleasure energy now, just like riding those waves. I love starting these episodes now with these 3 conscious breaths. Also my sessions, we usually start them with conscious breathing and a cup of tea or another drink of your choice that you find delicious. And maybe we could start that here as well. So if you tune in to this episode with me, solo episodes or guest speaking episodes at Pleasurelit with Patricia, make yourself a cup of tea or have another drink. Make it intentional. An intentional drink of soaking up the scent of the drink. It works specifically good with like tea or coffee or matcha and hot chocolate, cacao. Delicious. Another portal to pleasure, using our 5 senses. The sense, the smell, the taste, the appearance, voicing it out, moving our body to it. The warmth. So delicious. End of last year, 2025, Spotify awarded Pleasurelit with Patricia with a few awards. Received some awards for this podcast, which is so beautiful, and I feel so grateful for it. All your support in following the show, giving it a 5-star rating, sharing it with others is super helpful and very much appreciated, because that will help me to reach more of you, to help more of you, to bring more pleasure into this world, into your lives, into your business, into your relationships. And that lights me up. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I just get this big smile on my face right now, because this brings me pure pleasure, knowing that I'm supporting you on experiencing more pleasure, opening up to more pleasure, holding more pleasure, receiving more pleasure, giving more pleasure, pleasure all around. My cheeks already starting to, so good. It's such a good day today as well. I've been in that delicious. So many portals to pleasure that I've activated today. Wearing something that makes you feel delicious as well. Could be the silky leopard robe, could be pleasure jewelry, could be red, which is activating as well. Having a diffuser with a favorite scent, very activating. Portals to pleasure all around. this solo episode, I would like to, moving forward, change the style a little bit. So as I just said, after reviewing the podcast, the show, after receiving the awards from Spotify, I have tuned in and felt into how would I like to show up? How would I like to help you, support you, inspire you, empower you? What is needed? And what came through was that, first of all, the guest speaking episodes have had a bit of a change. So if you recently tuned into, you will have realized the guest speaking episodes are not just like topic related anymore, as is into someone comes on and they speak about a certain topic, but rather now it is a conversation, an open, honest, real, vulnerable conversation that's quite reflective as well about pleasure, because ultimately this is what we're here for. This is what you're curious about. And also for me personally and professionally, I'm curious to know and find out, how do real people, others, embody and integrate pleasure into their life? How do they move through pleasure challenges, and how do they activate their pleasure? That's so interesting. And the ones that I've already had, so valuable. And every guest speaker has these aha moments. I have aha moments. We're just like having these really amazing, open, honest conversations about pleasure. And it's just so activating, connecting as well, and reflecting for them. They sometimes speak about things that they actually haven't realized before. And this is what's so beautiful about it. It's almost like a session, just read differently, and very beautifully for you to get an insight into the realness, the vulnerability, the rawness, the wisdom in it. There are these 10 guided questions, but it's more conversation style. They also invited to ask me questions back, so we can really have it more as a conversation with these insightful reflections about pleasure. Highly suggest to tune into them. Now, as to the solo episodes moving forward, I also had them more like topic related, but I felt something else wanted to be shared. Last year, I started on my Substack a Pleasurelit journal. So weekly on there, for back then paid subscribers, I shared weekly reflections on what has been alive for me, what challenges came up, reminders, how have I moved through the week, and how did I access pleasure, embodied pleasure, etc. It was very amazing for me personally to have these reflections as voice notes, but also for the ones who have tuned into them, received amazing feedback. Now that I have taken the paid subscription of my Substack, and my Substack is at this stage completely free because I want to host it as a platform that you can access my free Pleasurelit workshop, the episodes, my offers, all of that in one place. And I would like to bring back, though, those valuable journal reflections again, because this is very aligned with what I felt and what came through, how I want to show up, and what I believe is being in need is more realness, rawness, vulnerability, more about how does someone actually live, and not this generic information sharing about, here are 10 signs and this is a topic and this is what it means. And there's a lot of information out there. And I would like to provide a little bit more different access. The access of sharing the journey, sharing what's actually really alive and how are we actually doing it. So, and that is through the podcast episodes with guest speakers. And then for the solo ones, I will keep it as like journal reflections, speaking about what has been alive for me in that period of time, from the solo episode to the solo episode to the solo episode, sharing what has happened in between those episodes. What have I faced? What have I been reminded of? How did I move through it? And how did I embody the pleasurelit woman? How did I live the pleasurelit way? The realness, the rawness. Because I want to remind you here, only because we are pleasure experts, we are all human. And every expert that you meet, they have gone through something as well to get to the stage where they're currently at. But also, everything, it's a daily choice. You need to choose yourself every single day. And what I mean by that is your self-love, your pleasure. Every single day, you need to choose yourself. You need to make yourself a priority. And there will be challenges being thrown in your way. That is life. We are human. We are here for human experience. There will be pain. There will be grief. There will be challenges. There will be hurt. But if we embody the pleasurelit woman and live the pleasurelit way, we can move through life in a way more pleasurable way, and through blockages and challenges, more regulated, and not just more regulated, but also in a more pleasurable way. We can sometimes find pleasure in pain, in grief, in sadness, in hurt. And that is something that I've realized over the years of really going in more depth about pleasure. And for that, I would like to take you along my journey, because I believe sharing more about that vulnerable part of how I'm moving through it is something that can be very empowering and inspiring, because most of the feedback that I get, the messages, the client's feedback, is about when I share about something that's been real, that's been vulnerable, that's been alive, and others can relate to it and don't feel like they're broken, they're alone, because no one's actually opening up. And that is what I believe is truly something that is currently missing or not as much shared, because it's very generic at the moment, very consumption through AI and technology. And I would like to bring back more of that realness and rawness. And that is why I would like to invite you to join the episodes, to tune in for exactly that, to get an insight of how are others doing it, like for real. The real people. How are the real people living and embodying it and moving through the challenges? I would like to start this first solo episode in that way, that I bring you a bit closer about what has been happening for the last few weeks. I moved recently within the Sunshine Coast. So last year I moved up to the Sunshine Coast in an area that I did not, I knew wasn't it yet. And then within 5 months, I found the place and an area where I really wanted to move to. So we just moved last month. And it's been really, really amazing. And I'm sharing that because we've moved now a few times. And this move has been, I would almost say, one of the most pleasurable ones. And even my daughter said, "Mom, this move was like that. How did you do it? Are you just getting better at moving?" Probably too. But this time I really focused on how can I make it more pleasurable? How can I make it in a way that I am not just up in my mind, because this is my pleasure block, when I'm too much in my mind, overthinking, comparing, stressing, worrying, then I block myself from pleasure. So I was looking at how can I make it more pleasurable? And what I mean by that is when I did the packing, the cleaning, and the unpacking, the building, I actually took the time, because I was in that stage usually like, okay, there's this big list, just run through it, feeling exhausted, and then, oh, there's still more to do, stressing myself, and then it's just stressing about this, and then will that be right? And hopefully the truckers are gonna arrive, and all of that. Where this time I just eased and I said, trust the process, the journey, but also how can we make it more pleasurable? We put on the music. And while we were packing, we had a dance. We were singing. While cleaning, we were dancing and singing. So we really bring in more pleasure into all of that. When we didn't have the fridge working because we're gonna, I had to switch it off in between for the 2 days of moving, making sure that we still nourished ourselves with good food, but also in a pleasurable way, eating in, making it work, that it's actually still nourishing, but also fun and joyful. So it was really beautiful to actually focus on that, making that a priority. So instead of, I need to tick the to-do list, my focus was more on, let's enjoy the process. Let's enjoy the journey. And that was such a beautiful reminder of, that's actually what matters. The destination is the journey. The journey is the part that we want to focus on, to enjoy. Being present in the now, using our 5 senses, being here. Because when we get caught up in the future or dwell about the past, that's when we get into our mind and start worrying and stressing and overthinking, and then we block ourselves off from pleasure. So that was a beautiful way of making it a more pleasurable experience, because compared to that move before that, that was a stressful one. And it was just such a beautiful change for me to see what I've learned out of that stressful one prior to that one, to just say, moving is always a little bit tricky, but how can I make it more pleasurable? And then it worked, because I had to focus on that. So if you are about to move, see where you can make it more pleasurable. Same now, that translation I've taken into when I do the dishes or when I do anything else. I'm trying, I still have moments where I'm also caught up in that. So like I said, not perfect, but it's a self-awareness now. Becoming self-aware when I am getting caught up in the, I need to do the dishes, I need to quickly vacuum, and then I need to do this before the kids come home. Whoa. Like, I'm not being chased by a tiger here or by a lion. Like, I'm not on the run here. Why am I like behaving like it's an emergency or my life is on the line? Let's slow it down. But then not also just slow it down, because it's also very interesting when you hear nervous system regulation coaches just slow it down. It's great to slow things down, to then say, okay, I do dishes a bit slowly, but take it a step further. Not just slow it down, make it pleasure-lit. And what I mean by that is, use your 5 senses, have fun, experience pleasure. So when you then slow down to do the dishes and so rubbing and scrubbing, not just slowing down and slowly scrubbing, it might be still on your mind of like, oh, I need to do this and I need to do that, but I'm just not doing it slower. No, making it fun, making it pleasure-lit by, all right, I put on the music, shake my booty, I play with the bubbles, I feel the water on my skin, swing the towel and slap my butt or whatever. I like, just have some fun with it. The dishes need to be done anyway. And if you need now 2 minutes or 3 minutes longer or 5 minutes longer, but you enjoy yourself, that's so much more worth than getting it done 5 minutes quicker, but you are up there in your mind and stressing and worrying. Believe me, I've tried that and it is so much better. So this is now something where I catch myself, become self-aware, and not just say to others, just slow it down. No, not just slow it down. Make it pleasure-lit. What can you do to make it more fun? And when I was having a shower recently as well, I was rubbing my hair, I was like shampooing, and I'm like, whoa, okay, hang on a second, like, it's okay. Jeez, my head. Not just slowing it down and slowing, but actually then, I'm going to give myself a head massage while I shampoo my head. And then, that water on my skin, actually, here on my neck. Oh, this is good. Oh, no, like, just let the water run. Let the water run. And I've got now a shower where there's a window right there. And after lunch, the sun comes in. And now on a warm day, that hot sun, but the cold water. Oh, this is so good. The fresh air as well. Like, I'm in love with that. Outdoor showers now, please. Beautiful, so delicious. And then I'm just like feeling into that, using the senses, and I'm in that stage where I'm just like, oh, this feels so good. That is nourishing. That is pleasurable. That is pleasure-lit. Giving you all these little tips and insights, And I think this is what's important. This is what lights me up, of knowing, okay, yeah, that's a great idea. I try that too. Those tips, those insights, this is what I'm all here for. So that was like the moving part where I realized a lot that I wanted to share. And something else that shifted recently for me again was to start back at the gym. So 2 weeks ago, so it's my second week now, back at the gym. And I have been weightlifting since 2018 was when I started to dip my toes in. 2019 was then when I started studying PT. In 2020, started my own business as a PT and nutrition coach. And everything else developed then from there, found yoga, meditation, breath, tantra, somatic sex coaching. And then eventually it all became pleasure lit. And I was working out, or have been working out, weightlifting ever since. Usually from home, because back then, since then, full-time single mom life, wasn't permanent resident yet, so no government support, no family support around here either. So I had to make things work with being at home. That's when I also put really the focus on starting my own business, working from home, training from home, all from home. But I usually had then like a garage where I could like have a little home gym set up, even with the squat rack eventually and the barbell. Then last year I had to sell all of that to move into like a smaller unit at the Sunshine Coast, just to get into the Sunshine Coast at first. But now we are back in a house. But this time I thought, oh yeah, before I said anything, because I don't have a garage, I've got a carport this time. I thought, no, let's try the gym. Let's get out. Also see others, meet others, be in that community spirit energy of, others working on themselves and meeting like-minded. And I started 2 weeks ago back at the gym. Oh, so good. Especially because with the moving and all of that, the weightlifting wasn't such a priority. But I always come back to it since like 2018 when I started it, because I had a really strong reason as to why I started back then. I was never really a sporty person, to be honest. But in 2018, I left the DV marriage, and I started to train weightlifting because I wanted to build muscle mass, so I become stronger, so I could defend myself. Not knowing that I actually would unravel a whole different journey of self-love, confidence, not just becoming stronger physically with building muscle mass, but actually becoming stronger, more confident overall, more energized, healthy, fit. And it was just the beginning of it all. It brings me back and back again. And now I'm not training actually for the physical becoming stronger, even though I love building muscle mass and I love that. But it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good. When I train, when I weightlift, I feel amazing in my body. And especially when I do that first thing in the morning, that post-workout feeling, but not just that, even at the workout, I start to feel amazing. My heart's raising up. I'm just feeling like, I'm feeling strong. I'm feeling confident. And then post-workout, I've got this energetic high. I open my portals to pleasure. And that sets me up for the day, especially when I do that early in the morning. First thing of the day, it sets me up for the day. It just gives me that confidence, energetic pleasure boost that lasts me for the day. And then life can just become pleasure lit. It's like, show me what you've got, basically. So I can highly, highly suggest, and this is why within my book, The Pleasurelit Way, my best-selling book, I speak about fitness and movement. It doesn't necessarily have to be weightlifting for you. It could be running, could be swimming, could be cycling, could be netball, could be football, could be another sport. Whatever it is that brings you joy. It could be dancing, and not just dancing like classes. It could be just like you put half an hour music on every single day to move your body accordingly, and like, tune into the music and the movement intentionally and intuitive. whatever it is that brings you the joy, the pleasure, because that's when you stick with it. And not just that, that's how you activate and awaken your pleasure energy. And that is something that has shown me once again how really potent the weightlifting is for me. I also love my yoga. I have realized that it's rather more than dropping into my body in a different way, rather where the weightlifting for me is very activating for early on the day. I love the yoga and the slower movements and the more embodied. It's more meditative for me, where this is more for the afternoon and evening for me. So I've got that beautiful balance now figured out. And then walking is my other movement, which I enjoy. I don't like running. I love walking, fast walking. Whatever it is for you, explore and lean into what brings you pleasure, what gives you that feel good feeling. But I really see the difference. When I have got 1 or 2 weeks where I start to skip it, that's when I realize I'm getting a bit edgy, I'm getting a bit tense, I'm getting a bit of this constantly on an autopilot. It's because I'm not nourishing myself. And fitness and movement is a big part of that nourishment. And that is where I started my pleasurelit journey, becoming as a PT nutrition coach. And I actually back then developed a 12-week healthy weight loss success system, which was helping many women to lose weight and maintain an ideal weight in a healthy way. So through fitness, nutrition, self-love, habit change, stress management, all of that, like 12 weeks, it was mind-blowing. I don't run it as a program anymore. I have now actually put that into a self-paced online course. So if that is something that makes you curious, it includes 8 weeks home workout programs, because I'm very much an advocate for you can do it all at home. You don't need the machines. You don't need to go into a gym that might be frightening to you to see all the others working out and using machines. You can do it all at home. So I've got home workouts, how to eat healthier, how to meal prep, how to sleep better, how to change your habits if you've got bad habits that you want to break through. All of that in that self-paced online course now, so which is available at pleasurelit.com if you are curious to lean into that. But also if you are curious into hearing more about these portals to pleasure that I speak of and how to activate it, I can highly suggest The Pleasurelit Way, my best-selling book. And also something that I have just opened the doors to recently is the Pleasurelit Portal. The Pleasurelit Portal is an online membership community. You can find access and details also on my website, pleasurelit.com. And this is where we actually have live calls, where I put pleasure tools, embodiment tools, tantric tools, somatic tools, all of that in there, where we come together and really integrate it and embody it. Because I'm really focusing hugely now on not just delivering you information, because I think we have got that information. We have actually the knowledge, but sometimes we just don't actually do it, or we stop at the knowing, but we're actually not implementing it, not integrating it, not embodying it. And that is a huge difference, because knowing is just one thing, but doing is the other thing. And that's what actually then will be effective. And this is why I want to share so much more about the embodying part, the integration part. How do I embody it? How do I integrate it? And how do others do it? I would love your support. So if you've liked any of the episodes, if you love the show, if you love my mission on my work, please follow, subscribe to the channels, rate it 5-star, and share it with others so we can reach more to really have an impact, to have that pleasurelit movement, because we all crave it and we all deserve it. It's our birthright to be and live pleasurelit. Oh, so much that just wanted to come through me. So these solo episodes, again, also, they are sharing from the heart of what's alive, from the body, what's alive within me right now. And I always think that is such an intimate, vulnerable share as well, which is very empowering and inspiring. And sometimes that can come out a little, a lot. So let's just take the time to also let it land. When you have your delicious drink, maybe you want to take a sip of that to just take a moment to let it all land, what I've just shared. So good. Oh, delicious. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode, for all your support. I appreciate you. I'm so, so grateful for all of it. And I'm sending you so much love and so much pleasure. Mwah.